Yeah, I would also like to just say a big thank you to the organisers of this event. And I've had a fantastic week. It's my first time in Baku and Azerbaijan. I left the winter in London and the snow, and I arrived in the springtime on Monday. Just thanks to everybody. It's been a very welcoming environment, and we've had some great conversations this week, and I'm sure they'll continue in the future. I think what I wanted to talk about really, probably will echo many of the themes that have been discussed already, but from a point of view at BP, we've been on our digital journey for the last few years. Probably just maybe wanted to call out some of the key themes. Why did we do it? Why did we start it? How did we approach it? And maybe some of the key kind of learnings that we've kind of discovered on the way, really. I guess firstly, why did we do it? We're very complex. We're a very complex company. We were operating something in the region of 5,000 applications in about 600 different locations in 70 countries globally at the time. And that complexity requires a lot of effort to maintain and a lot of energy just to keep the lights on, as we say. And the pace of doing that was very slow with a traditional sort of infrastructure and traditional analog information technology. But it was very clear that what digital, in its broader sense, was going to bring to us was just a capacity to increase the speed and the clock speed at which we are able to manage, maintain, and operate those services, and to innovate as well. So the complexity just wasn't sustainable, and we wanted to take advantage of new digital technologies in order to effectively look forward for the next 10 years of the company. I think the second thing was really, it's been mentioned before, data. I mean, we all see the statistics on data, but we really are, at the heart of it, a data-driven organization, whether it's from the facilities or the data that's coming from the Caspian Sea through our subsurface exploration, from the wells, the platforms, and the infrastructure, the pipelines. All of these systems generate data. And the sheer volume and the insights that can be gained from that data required a different approach. And it's already been mentioned. The cloud computing just increases the ability to process that data at a scale we were not able to do previously. I promised I would not talk about technology, RESTful APIs and microservices, but I can't help myself, I'm sorry. You know, just computing power, the way it used to be, if this was our data center and each chair was a server that we run something on, if we wanted to do something new, so we needed some infrastructure to run it on, that process would take us, believe me, about 9 months service level to specify the infrastructure, to order it, to have it landed in the building, to get it plugged in, and only then can you actually start building the thing you wanted to. Cloud computing today, it's minutes. I can get a new chair, I'm done. Right, now I can start building. If I want to run a query in data and I need some more computing power, how long do you need it for? I don't know, a minute? Okay, boom, a minute. There's your bill. You used that for a minute, it's shut down. You're not using it anymore. So these features just allow us to really completely change the way that we process, analyze, and use our data. I guess the final thing was, I think the minister mentioned it earlier, you know, the world is unpredictable and it's changing. Digital is a journey rather than a fixed destination. And I think our business is changing, the world is changing, customers, consumers are changing their demands. And I think this pace, again, the ability to respond and explore at a much faster pace, I think was important because you never know, you can't predict where the next challenge is going to come from. And obviously, as a company, clearly really focusing on the energy transition currently, moving from an integrated oil company to an integrated energy company, looking at a net zero world that we're trying to achieve. We don't know clearly where that's going to come from. We've got some great ideas, but I'm sure that some of those will be wrong, and we'll need to adapt and change. And our digital capability that will support that needs to be able to change and respond to that as well. So those are the three main things, really. The complexity that we had, the recognition that data was a key asset that we had and we needed to use, but also this uncertain future, and we needed to develop an ability to adapt much more quickly than we'd done in the past. And the way that we approached it, I think there's three main elements. One is actually get the basics right, the foundations, the boring stuff, but it's fundamental to get the foundations right. There's then the new capabilities that you have then enabled. You need to build those capabilities. And then thirdly, it's about a mindset and a culture, really. The foundational parts, again, I won't go into the details, but your cloud infrastructure, your networks, you need a different approach. The data at our retail sites, if you're going to do video streaming, you're going to be interacting with customers as they go through your stores, you want a real-time update on how things are happening, the data requirements across your network are going to change, so the networks are really important. Workplace, the collaboration workplace has already been mentioned. The platforms for developers, we wanted to build platforms where developers could come in and get working straight away, and to build security into those platforms so that we did it right up front rather than reactive after the developers had built something. So that's the foundational element. And moving our applications into the cloud hosting from our on-premise, so closing down our physical data centers and moving into the cloud. And having started in about 2017, I think at the moment we're about 80% of our applications are running in public cloud today. So it's been a 4-year journey, but the pace of that has picked up quite a lot. So that's the foundational part. The new capabilities really are around data and analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, building those new capabilities. Design, sort of as you're building new products, you're trying to get much more interactive with the customer and consumer directly through digital channels. The design and the user design so that people find it easy to interact with us. And we get feedback from how our customers feel about the products they're using and whether they're useful or not. Cybersecurity was always there, but it does require a different mindset. And I would describe that, I'll probably talk about it later. And then the mindset, the culture. I think this is much more one of, you'll all see lots of literature on agile ways of working, and that's a real thing. Moving from projects that were very risk averse, that took many years to deliver, and then you found out it wasn't quite what your customer needed, to moving to valuing actually getting stuff live more quickly and experimenting, because the sooner you get something in front of somebody, the sooner you figure out whether it's actually useful or not. So this mentality that it's okay to try something out and have it not work. And in an engineering company like BP, obviously, and there are very good reasons to be risk averse, that was a big cultural change that in the right context, it's okay to try something that didn't work, but you learn something as you go and try again. And I think that's a big lesson for a digital economy that you're trying to grow or encourage is, the more you encourage experimentation, a lot of those will fail, but many of them will work, and that's where you'll find the growth. And some of those will be very surprising that you will not have predicted. So that's more about the culture and failure being okay, because experimentation is where you'll find the success. Then I think, what's our key learning? I think getting the basics right, cybersecurity and data and information security, it's been mentioned already, but it's something we take very seriously. We think we've got a lot of expertise. Harel made me very nervous on Tuesday that he convinces me we don't know what we don't know, and I think it's a very good mantra to say. It's an ever-evolving situation. So wherever you think you've got the capability, it just constantly changes and moves forward. So we take it very seriously. But I would also talk about information security and digital trust. And by digital trust, I mean it's not just the data that you receive from people, it's that they trust that that data is secure when you've got it, they trust that it's available, but they also trust that they're only giving you information that you need, and they are clear that you're going to use that in an ethical way. So if we get data from a customer, they know why they're giving it to us, and they trust that we're not going to do anything with that data that they are not aware of or would object to. So again, I think digital adoption is about a trust, that people believe that they trust the products that they're using and the systems that they use. And it's a trust that has to be gained. And we put a lot of effort into that. What else? I think on capability, I would say I think that we've got more than we thought. So the concept of the citizen developer. So we have lots of engineers, and many engineers are actually really smart people. They've coded, they can do some coding. You know, it's more than just a spreadsheet. And we found that actually people are so passionate to learn new skills that if you give them the capability, actually some of the people who are going to help you through that digital transition were there all along, and people really do want to learn and embrace new technology. So it's not always about bringing in new capability, though you do need that. The people who you already have in some of our organizations are some of the people who have just plowed through learning, online learning. I'm sure that, you know, the institutes here, learning is ubiquitous, and with a passion and energy for it, there really are very few limits to what, you know, smart people can achieve. I think the other thing I think was partnerships have been really important to us. I don't think any of us, huge change is something that you can rarely do on your own. You need partners to help you, and you learn from each other. Whether that's from our cloud hosting partners, from our sort of technology partners, you know, really strong partnerships are a great help. And our cloud providers, I mentioned Microsoft, Amazon Web Services, we use them both. We've learned from each other as we've gone along. We're not a cloud native company that grew up on the cloud. We're a brownfield. We're trying to transition. And that was quite new for them in some ways, some of the things we needed. But the partnership in both cases has been really strong. And, you know, in terms of sustainability, we have now done deals with both of those companies to supply sustainable energy to run their data centers. So it's been a real journey that we've gone on together. And I think that's a lesson I think will always play out as you try to grow a digital ecosystem, bringing in partners who can help and bring in that experience together. And you'll fix different parts of the problem together, and that's what gains the momentum. So I think I'll probably pause there and sort of wrap up. I think the main thing is it's very energizing, it's very exciting. You know, going into something which does not have a definite end, and the cultural change and the energy that's brought to our company. We're on a journey, but it's been fantastic, and I'm really, really hopeful and looking forward to the journey over the next 10 years as we change our company. Thank you.